up with it, bro?
Ain't nothing to it but to get to it.
Most definitely, man. It's an honor to have you here.
It's a pleasure.
Most definitely. Introduce yourself, let the people know who you are.
Well, I'm Sylk Smoov, STL pioneer. You know, what else you need to know?
He said STL pioneer. He started off with it. We don't just jump off the guns and get straight into that, man.
Okay.
We gonna slow it down a little bit. And I guess talk about your early upbringing in St. Louis, man.
As well, far as in hip hop or
just in life, let's just start off this and say, what part of St. Louis did you come up in?
Well, I grew up in Laclede Town, you know, where Harris Stowe took over. Yeah, I grew up in Laclede Town and in the Ville on the north side. My grandparents stayed in the Ville and my mother stayed in Laclede Town, so I was always back and forth from the north to downtown. Gotcha. If you know about the Laclede Town. Yeah.
Briefly, we don't dive into it though.
Yeah.
But briefly, I know a little bit about it. I heard a little bit about it. I'm let you explain it to me though. How would you describe the Laclede Town growing up in the 80s? Well,
Laclede Town, it was kind of like a projects. It was when I was it started out like a mixed community. You had like Chinese people, Mexicans, and then over time, you know, it got a little more ghetto over time. But I went to Waring, that was on Compton, that's where the Chavis Center is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's pretty much where I learned hip hop. You know, we used to have breakdance group there, we used to do graffiti and all of that type of stuff, hooping and freestyle, you know, normal kid stuff, being a menace, you know. And far as on the north, I used to go with my grandparents and over there, and I used to work with my grandfather as a kid, and you know, just pretty much your normal child life, you know, football in the streets, you know, back when kids used to hang outside, stuff like that.
Gotcha.
You know, we played Atari, ColecoVision, stuff like that, you know.
Just listen to your music. I'm going to ask you this question. At what age do you remember jumping off the porch?
For starting to get into hip-hop or trying to get in the industry?
No, I ain't saying the industry. I'm saying jumping off the porch into the St. Louis life. I just say that.
Well,
you know, most people don't start off growing up as a black man. Some people don't always go this route, but like I said, just based off listening to your music is why I'm asking this question. Is when did you jump off into the street life? I would say that.
Well, in the street life, I probably jumped off into the street life like I was 14 or 15. You know, I seen other people in the neighborhood because I remember like when we talking about street life or hip hop.
Street life.
Street life. Well, I seen other people in my neighborhood. I remember when they first brought the whole crack epidemic, and I used to be like, hell no, I ain't fucking with that. Now, can we cuss on here? Yeah, I ain't fucking with nothing like that. And then I seen all the, you know, everybody was getting starter jackets and you know, people was getting nice things. And then I started dipping and dabbing in it. And then I was like, you know what? I could use this to fuel my studio money to get, you know what I'm saying? So I pretty much got into it. Initially, I got into it because I seen the things people were getting, and then I thought, well, hell, I could keep this money and, you know, really try to put something together, you know.
As far as, like you said, putting something together.
As far as going to the studio,
and
you know, if we needed some equipment or something, we need to rent something, you always have, you know, money to do so.
Gotcha. Now, I heard you just say, like you said, like you remember when St. Louis was hit with the crack. You know, during that crack era, when crack hit St. Louis.
Yeah.
I guess describe that.
That
transition. What you noticed.
Well, at first it wasn't as bad. You know, people was out getting money, you know, as teenagers. But then when it got bad when the gang violence started. And that hit like when Colors, you heard of the movie Colors? Mm-hmm. Yeah, when Colors hit, everybody wanted to be a gang member. And it's like, the I know you heard about the late 80s. It was just like the Wild Wild West after that, you know. So it was real dangerous. And, you know, I got into a few things. I ain't going to speak on all of that. But it was rough back then. It's rough now, but I remember I'm not a kid now, so I can't really I can relate because I see it, but I'm not a kid today.
It's active.
So, yeah, that's active. So I can't really say, but I know back then it was just hey, wrong place, wrong time, you could get it type deal, you know.
Yeah. Like you just said, like the late '80s and early '90s is when I heard like gangbang became a thing in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Would you say it's solely based upon colors?
That's hard to say, man, because that hit. Cause you had neighborhoods back then, you know, but then eventually they start claiming colors, you know, and it was a motherfucker before that, but when that came, it really got all the way out of hand.
Gotcha.
You know, but did what?
Did you yourself like indulge in like the gang culture?
Well, not really. I really wasn't I didn't find comfortability in claiming something from somewhere else.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? I just didn't really respect that, you know, at the time, because I'm like, y'all didn't do this till you seen colors. But at the same time, you had gang members coming down here bringing work to St. Louis.
Gotcha.
And trying to get people that they was working with to claim they set. You know, so I know that was a part of it, but I eventually, like when I was 18, I got into the, you know, I was in the industry.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So it kind of took me away from all of that.
Gotcha. Now, what you saying, like what you just said, you know, LA gang members coming to St. Louis, you know, before colors. Rumor has it that, you know, Town was actually one of the areas that kind of settled in the beginning days.
Yeah.
Even with records like you say, like My Summer Vacation by Ice Cube.
Yeah.
You know, what do you remember in those early interactions with St. Louis and the LA gang members? Because Ice Cube kind of insinuated there was some type of conflict when he said, you know, St. Louis niggas want their corners back.
Well,
like, was everybody receptive to that gang culture, or was some people getting like pushed back?
Well, you know, I done been coast to coast, and I haven't seen any place that's rougher than St. Louis. You know what I mean? So it's like you coming from somewhere else, just the St. Louis mentality, you know, folks be quick to flip on you, you know what I mean? So I wasn't like a big time drug dealer or anything like that. I was more so doing it to try to benefit and fuel what I was trying to do. Yeah. But it was all the way around. It was around me all the time. But far as the falling out with LA gang members and all that, I know people used to run off with their work. You know, they'd give them some keys or something, they'd disappear. I know about a lot of that. A lot of that type of stuff going on, you know.
Even like what you said, like me mentioning like Town was one of the areas that, you know, is rumored to be where the LA gang settled at. You also mentioned that before the gangs came, St. Louis had their own things. Like I heard about like the Thundercats. They were still the Thundercats. Now I had moved from Town when all of that really started taking place, so I can't really speak on that. I know a lot of people that were involved in it, but I'd be wrong to speak on what they had going at that time. Gotcha. You
know what I'm saying? But they was, as far as I know, they was always the Thundercats. You know what I mean? Even with that LA gang element in it, they were still Thundercats, as far as I know. You know what I'm saying? So I can't really speak on what Town was doing. Like I left Town like in 88, something like that. So all of that started happening like after I left.
Gotcha.
You know, I was on the north. You know.
Gotcha. Like I mentioned, Ice Cube, you know, that was what, 91 when he dropped My Summer Vacation. It's also the same year that you dropped your debut album.
Right.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people don't give you the credit as being like the first major artist, rap artist anyway, that was signed in the city. You know, a lot of people that seem to, you know, highlight Nelly, you know, as their artist.
Right.
Which we'll get into a little bit later. But like I said, 91 was your debut album. What was it about Mercury Records that made them, well, like, what was it that made them choose you?
Well, I kind of ask myself that question to this day.
Right.
You know, well, I was signed to PWL Mercury. That was a company that was distributed through Mercury Polygram. So I got signed to PWL, but I would do promotions like with PM Don and Tam Tam, Black Sheep, you know, because they were Mercury artists. So they would put me on their roster, you know, because that, I guess PWL was under them. So I was signed to PWL.
Well, I'm saying, like, was it, like, were you buzzing in the city, like, beforehand? Like, you had, like, a single that was, like, you know, buzzing around the city?
In St. Louis?
Yeah. They picked up on that, and they're like, oh, we need him.
No, it wasn't like that. So it wasn't. St. Louis wasn't really like that. We had Early D. He was kind of buzzing. He had nice buzz in St. Louis. And for as a rap artist, I think Early D. That's all I can remember. No disrespect if I'm forgetting somebody right now.
Yes.
But that ain't the route I took. I pretty much I had to ask myself when we were doing shows, because I was in a group called DS Ski, and I had to ask myself when we were doing shows, it just dawned on me like we doing these shows, but is Russell Simmons gonna be there? You know, because I ain't the type of person that just like to do things just to be doing them. I want to have a purpose. You know what I mean? And I'd be like, is Russell Simmons there? Is Run DMC gonna be there? Well, what are we doing it for? You know? So I kind of fell back from all them type of activities and start working on trying to figure out how can I get to these people. You know?
Gotcha. Like you said, during that time, St. Louis didn't really have like a hip hop scene outside, like you said, Early D. You say Early D.
They had a hip hop scene,
but it wasn't mainstream in a sense.
Right, it wasn't mainstream.
Marketable in a sense either, because I guess, like you said, with you being the first artist at the time who hit that level, basically, you, like you said, the pioneer of that, the hip hop scene in St. Louis.
Well, we had Dr. Jockenstein. He's the one who brought it to town. Gotcha. Brought hip hop to town was Dr. Jockenstein, because he was affiliated with Sugar Hill Records. Are you familiar with them? And he knew the owner of Sugar Hill Records, and while Sugar Hill was doing their thing, because hip hop was still new, you know, and they were connected with Jockenstein, and he always got the new music. And I think they were WESL on a AM station, and he like the one who brought the whole thing to town, because he had like the roll call show. You heard of that? Where everybody would call in and start rapping.
I haven't really heard about it, but just kind of doing my research, that was the first radio station in the country that played, like you said, Sugar Hill Records.
Yeah. So it's like St. Louis is like a pioneer to hip hop itself, you know, with people like Dr. Jockenstein, and they don't even talk about him enough in hip hop period, not just St. Louis. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Well, going back to you, with you, like I say, was that just something like out the gates you did, or you said you didn't have any buzz before that? Like, how did you get that record?
Well,
that deal anyway.
Well, I had Well, it was also this group called RET. They were like a party group, and they were ran by Robert Trice. And I remember RET, but I was too young to like go to their parties and stuff like that. But he started this group called Too Hard Productions, and they like took different rap groups from different neighborhoods, and he made a compilation. And I think I got the records at home. It's called the Louis Connection. I could give you one of them. And I started there for my first time on record was being on the Too Hard album. And I got Cool Odie, which I met him from performing at a club called the Animal House. And he used to play me and this guy named, Simply Lee. And he played us on the radio. I wouldn't say we had a buzz, but we gained respect in the rap community that existed at the time. But St. Louis didn't really have a big radio thing. I remember the radio station used to say, they had a commercial that would say, more jam and less rapping. Yeah, they used to speak down on the rap thing, more jam and less rapping. But anyway, I recorded with Oliver Sane. You familiar with him? He a famous jazz musician. He passed, God bless him. But yeah, we recorded over his house. He had a studio in his basement, and we did the Too Hard album there. So from there, I made another song and made a mixtape, because I was just curious because I used to look at people on TV. I wanted to be on TV, and I started shopping my demo with a song I had called Doing the Do, and it was another little song I had that was similar to like Rob Bass. You remember that? It Takes Two? Had that Yeah Woo in it. Yeah. And so I sent it out, and I kept getting it returned, like from Polygram. I even got a return from them. And it said, we don't take solicited materials. But I did get to talk to B-Boy Records. That was what KRS-One was on. And they had told me, I called them, and they told me they wasn't interested. I say, well, I'm not calling to get a record deal. I'm just calling to see what you think. You know what I'm saying? And they like, well, you can rap, but you need to stop trying to rap like us and just rap like where you from. And make music your style, wherever you from. I say, I'm from St. Louis, but you need to make some St. Louis type rap, and I think you'll be okay. And that's when I went back to the lab and made Clientele. Okay. So I switched it up, because we had a lot of people in St. Louis were trying to rap like other people.
Like East Coast, West Coast.
Yeah, they said, even the talk, it'd be like, yo, kid. We used to call them yo kid ass niggas. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Try to talk like they from New York. Like people now try to talk like they from down south.
Yeah.
With this main, we don't talk like that here. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna say this, like from my point of view, hearing Sylk Smoov, your debut album, to me it sounded like more like a Cali vibe. I hear like the references for it, like the landmarks, the streets, neighborhoods, things like that.
Yeah.
I can hear the St. Louis references in the music, but it sounds, I guess maybe it's the time frame,
I recorded it in Cali.
It sounds like more of a Cali vibe to me.
The people that signed me were from Cali.
Gotcha.
So Hype P initially produced the music, and then them and Hype Dog, which we could get into, that was the one who made the beats.
Gotcha.
And that's how that sound came about. But if you listen to Trick with a Good Rap, that don't sound like a Cali vibe. I don't know what kind of vibe that sound like, actually.
I'd say probably the beat. The beat. It's like it's more so during that era of hip hop. I would say that.
Yeah, it's that era, but it was like a fusion type deal,
Did St. Louis have its own style during that time, like with the man or whoever the record company representative telling you to rap like St. Louis? Did, like you said, they had everybody wanted to be like an East Coast rapper or a West Coast rapper. Did St. Louis have his own unique style then?
Well, it's kind of hard to say that when you are that style. You know what I mean? So, of course, we talk like we over here, we over there. I didn't even know I said that like that till I moved to Cali.
But I'm saying, like, I'm glad you said it. I don't feel like you really spoke like that in Sylk Smoov, your debut album. I don't feel like I ain't really hear like the hurries and the thirds. Like how you stressed it, we'll get into that a little later. but with the cat action. I
Right.
feel like it was sad. We'll talk about that a little later.
Well, probably then I was more skilled on the cat action. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Back then I was like, cause honestly, I was like I was just a hip hopist, if you could say.
Gotcha.
Cause I was in the break dance and graffiti. I was more in my group DSK, I was the DJ. So I could play any role. I could be the rapper, I could be the DJ, I could help produce. I was more so on that level in DSK. I wasn't the lead rapper. I just got tired of not getting on, so I decided to step up and be it and
Gotcha.
give it a shot, you know.
Gotcha. You know, like after you released your debut album, like you kind of mentioned, I don't know if you said during the interview outside off camera, but you had the joint with the House Party.
Right.
That was Drop Down.
Yeah, that was what I had signed to Select Records after that.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first thing they had me do was the House Party soundtrack. And my production company and Select had got into some business issues, which I had nothing. I delivered what they asked me to deliver. And that's when people be thinking, what happened to this artist? What happened to this artist?
That, so you can't explain to my question.
Yeah. That's what happened. They had business problems with the money, which I had got my money, so I really wasn't involved with that. And I got a call from Select, the president, and he said he gonna allow me to get out of the contract because he know I didn't have anything to do with it. But at the same time, my production company thought that I was side dealing or something like that. So you know, after all that controversy, I just wanted out of the game.
Gotcha.
You know, because I didn't want to be blamed for nothing I had nothing to do with. I pretty much bowed out after that. You know.
So basically, like you said, after that bad business situation, you just kind of turn your back to it.
Yeah, I can't say it was bad business because I wasn't in that business.
Yeah, but whatever they had going on that affected your career.
Yes, it did.
It kind of made you have a bad taste in the music industry.
Exactly.
Well, would you say that you made a decent amount of money? Like you said, you kind of did the thing early on in your life to fund your music career. But
right.
When you got to producing music, do you feel like you made a good amount of money from it?
Well, I made more than most rappers you seen on TV.
Gotcha.
Cause I didn't even have a manager. I pretty much got my cell phone. You know, so a lot of these rappers you seen on TV in the 80s and 90s, I mean, they were suffering. If we couldn't see it because we in St. Louis.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
That's why I'm asking that question. Because nowadays, you know, most artists, they get a lot of money.
Yeah. Now, hip hop and blew up now.
Yeah.
You know, and there's more avenues to get bread. But I could say I did pretty good for the opportunity I had. You know, I can't really put a number on it because I went through a couple of contracts. You know, but I did better than most.
Yes.
Let me say that. Now I ain't saying I reached the level of a Ice Cube or a Dr. Dre or anything like that. But at the time, for somebody 18, 19 years old, that was real good money. You know? Yeah.
Just doing your stint in the industry, did you get a chance to meet some well-known artists during that time?
Yeah, I met at the time I damn near met everybody. From Red Alert to everybody. MC Light, Heavy D. I didn't get to meet Big Daddy Kane. That's who I wanted to meet in Rakim. Well, I met Rakim later.
Gotcha.
And I met pretty much everybody I seen on TV. I got an opportunity to meet and realize that hey, we just like each other. You know.
Just from different places.
Yeah.
Different background.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever witnessed they hear about the little crazy industry parties and things like that?
Oh, hell yeah.
What's the craziest thing you ever witnessed?
Hey.
I heard Chemo V said some crazy. Chemo from the Hold Down. I heard him say some crazy story. I just want to hear yours, man.
Drugs, homosexuality, shit, gangster shit. I done seen all kind of stuff. I can remember a time that I don't even know if I should say that, but I remember I was at a music convention and somebody didn't want to play the Dog Pound or Snoop Dogg, and he played it eventually.
He said, "No, what happened though? Like, what you mean? Like, how you?"
They started whooping them right there.
Cause they didn't want to play it.
And yeah, I heard them talking about it. I like, good Lord, you know. And he's trying to explain himself. Hey, mama, you know.
They made him. He ended up playing it afterwards.
Evidently, yeah, yeah. So I seen a lot of that going on. I don't like bringing up names from that type of stuff, but
Gotcha.
you know. But yeah, I done seen a lot of wild stuff. Yeah.
I heard a story about you being at like the Uncle Luke party. Crazy story. Luke party.
Who told you that, man?
I just heard about it, man.
Man, that was funny to me, man. You know.
I want you to explain the story.
I'm just gonna tell it and take it for what it's worth. Okay, we at the Luke release party. This was in New York, and we cuss, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Luke there, and next thing I know, he made a reference. I need my dick sucked, you know, something like that, to that effect. And then he pulled the chick out, and I didn't get a visual of this, but she started sucking his dick right in front of everybody. Wasn't that many men there, because this was like an industry, promotion companies was there.
Right.
The only women was really there was the freaks he had there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And everybody was rushing to look. And one of the guys that signed me, Tracy Kendrick, we was over in the cut having a drink. And he like, you look at that shit, Sylk? And yeah, they was just excited to watch a man get some head. I ain't get it. I'm like, hey, this is new to me.
He said, it's new to me.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say, with that being said, are you surprised, and no disrespect to, you know, anybody or anything, but as far as to see artists like Lil Nas X being accepted in hip hop versus back then?
Well, I expected that, because it's like when the trends of hip hop change, it's always to the next extreme. You know what I mean? It's always to the next extreme, just like this female rap going on, which I ain't got nothing against Sexy Red or nothing, but I see a lot of hating on the internet, you know. But it's like, I already saw it. I'm like, the homosexual rap finna come. Here he come. And then I say, women gonna take over the hip hop game, because I seen it brewing, you know. And yeah, I wasn't surprised. I predicted that coming. I'm just worried about the next, what's coming next. You know what I mean? What's the next extreme? I think it's I think we've reached the zenith.
So this is it right here.
I think so. I think we gonna have to get into other things besides, because it's like, what can captivate you? Somebody can flip. You can flip rap. You can. What captivate anybody with that? You can right. What's captivating about that? We've done everything so much. It's like the world is hip hop. Hip hop is the world now.
At this point, yeah.
Yeah, so
it's influenced everything.
Yeah, so I think the new extreme now, to me, like what I'm doing with FCON, I think black people being inventors, creating new things, being entrepreneurs, just not entrepreneurs to talk on the internet, people that actually profit and make an impact on their communities. Mm-hmm. You know, I think that's the next level of things we need to do or gonna do. Because pretty much, I mean, what type of rap style, we done it all. You know, unless you just gonna say one word. And let like,
man, they get to that point now.
Yeah, you know.
That's becoming a thing. That's because everybody ain't lyricists no more. Everybody ain't lyricists.
Right. You got the 808. How many times you gonna hear the 808 boom and a rolling 909 kick, the impeach the president snare? You know.
You know, during your hiatus from music, did you still have your ear to the streets when it comes to like local St. Louis artists? Like, were you aware of like the Nellies, Chemo V, Chingies, and they early?
Oh yeah, definitely Chemo V, because he was around when I was doing my thing. Cause Chaos, I think it was Chaos brought him over to the house, and when I first heard Chemo, I knew he was the truth. You know, so yeah, I always had my ear to the street. A lot of guys out here, I don't particularly remember the names now, because a lot of stuff just starting to sound monotonous now.
Yes.
You know, but when Chemo, he came over to the house, started freestyling, I already knew. You know, and I forgot I did a song with him. He had told me I did a song with him. He was rapping the lyrics. I'm like, I remember him vaguely. You know, I was doing so much at the time, it's hard to remember, you know.
Gotcha.
But let me see. Like you had your Tef Pose out, your Rip the General.
Rip.
But that was a different, that was actually the era that then passed.
Like GS9 then.
GS9, yeah, that's his thing. Yeah. So yeah, I try to keep my ears to the street when I hear something that grabbed me, you know. But now it's like I was looking at some guys, as everybody got Dracos and choppers, it's like the same thing. It's like it's white. You know, it's the same thing now. You know?
Yeah. Like back then, like you said, you had artists with Rucker Puff. We go by Zeus now.
Yeah, Rucker.
Yeah.
I did a song with Rucker Puff.
Yeah, and like you said, Spade, Rip, all them. But now, like you said, we have no versatility.
Yeah,
It doesn't seem that way. At least those artists don't get, I guess, the promotion in a sense.
Well, you can say you got the internet, you can promote yourself, but it's like at this point, I don't know. Somebody show me something different. You know, I don't know if that's what it is now, because we got different technologies now, you know, and it's like everything has been done. You can't rap no faster. You can't humanly possibly rap faster than what's already been done. You can't humanly possibly scratch faster, but how many people want to hear that? You know, I think I find my attention looking at graffiti more these days. You know, that part of hip hop.
Yeah, they just had Payne Lewis this week. It's going on now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Payne Lewis. I was just down there yesterday.
They down there today?
Yeah, they down there today. I think the last day is today.
I'm sliding down there after this.
The last day. But
take me some pictures.
But you being like the first artist, rap artist anyway, that was signed to a major record label, then you have someone like Nelly who come in the early 2000 years.
Yeah.
Who signed as a major artist coming out of St. Louis, and he gets the recognition as the first artist.
Right.
Have you ever at some point in your life felt like you had to be let know that you were the first artist?
No, not at all. Because I proved I'm the pioneer to the planet. I was worldwide. You can go to old magazines and see that it say Sylk Smoov, like The Source. I got 3.5 mics in there, and it says St. Louis. Sylk Smoov put St. Louis on the map. Mm-hmm. I'm still getting spins in different countries on my publishing. So a lot of people, they just want to say that. I don't know why. You know, why you want to change history. And no disrespect to Nelly, because I respect what he's done, you know, but he made a bigger impact, you know. I can definitely say that. Before us putting us on the map, we was already on the map, you know. Now he made it more visible.
For sure.
But that part, I had already did that, you know. So you just took it to another level.
Gotcha. It's just a different generation.
Yeah.
Like from my point of view, I know Nelly as the first one. But like I said, facts is facts though at the end of the day.
Right.
No
So
when
I don't worry about nothing like that. I know what I did, and I'm confident with what I did. So if somebody's saying something different, I don't, no biggie to me.
Now I'm gonna play devil's advocate here, man. Like I said, you went on a hiatus for 10 years in a sense, not something that was part of your choice. But when you did return, you came back during this time when not only Nelly, but a lot of artists for us, the whole nine, Chingy at the time, Lunatics too. I think Jaquan was kind of starting to get buzz during this time also. But you came back, and that's when you dropped the Cat Action.
Yeah, the Cat Action 25-8.
And this project in particular sounded more like a St. Louis verse, like I said earlier. The first project sounded like more West Coast, East Coast, well, West Coast vibe. As someone played devil advocate, did you feel like you kind of? I'm outside looking in, but you feel like that you had made your presence known, that you still got it for one, and that shit, you the pioneer of this St. Louis music industry.
Well, when I did it, I didn't really look at it like that. It's like I can rap, and I do have a studio. Why not? Type deal. And then I had Red Line Distribution was like, hey man, I need an album from you. And he was telling me to help me do whatever I needed to do. And I was like, hell, why not? You know what I mean? So, of course, I seen everybody else doing it. So I'm like, why not do it? You never know what could happen.
And when you say that, what you mean by that?
Like, if you're capable of doing something, why not do it?
I'm saying as far as like seeing everybody else doing what? Rapping, I would assume.
Right. For as your Nellies, your Jaquans, your Chingies, and what's the Chang Hang Low guy? Jibs and the whole nine. We had the music, and I did a few things just toying around. Why not do it? Gotcha. Why not? You got the lane to do it. So I went on, dropped it, did a few things with it. It did okay, and I'm glad I did do it.
Gotcha. Do you watch interviews or anything like that? Like kind of follow like, I guess, certain artists who do interviews, especially from the city?
If they come across my timeline, I might watch. But like I heard about you, I went and watched some of your interviews.
Gotcha.
And I don't know. I'm not really a interview watcher type guy. I'm more of if I'm on the internet, I'm looking for new and innovative things.
Gotcha. Well, I asked that because with me making a statement that when you dropped the Cat Action, you sounded more like a St. Louis artist, and two people who were buzzing during that time frame have done interviews. One with me, which is Chemo V, and Ali have done an interview with Vlad. And I'm bringing them in the conversation, emphasize the point that I pointed out to you, that you sound more like a St. Louis artist then.
Okay.
With the hers and theirs in your music.
Okay.
You have Ali on the hand saying that was something that he highlighted in St. Louis music scene himself. When he
highlighted what?
As far as emphasizing the hers and theirs in the music, sounded like a St. Louis person in his music.
Okay.
And then but he said, he went to Atlanta and found out people highlighted it, so he came back, and that was his golden ticket to success when he developed in the same Lunatics and Nelly, etc. And on the other hand, you have Chemo V, who's done an interview with me, saying that he was the pioneer of that, as far as emphasizing the hers and theirs, sounding like a St. Louis person in his music. I'm asking you why this time you felt like you, in this particular project, emphasized that hers and theirs in your music.
I ain't even realize I did that. Actually, I ain't even concentrating on that. I'm just doing my thing. Yes. See, back then, it's like I hadn't did all those. Like back in the day when I did songs, we might do like one song, two songs. I hadn't gotten a situation where I had to do all those songs. I noticed that also. But if you listen to it closely, they slip in here and there. You know what I'm saying? But rapping was kind of different back then, But I didn't even realize they're here and there. I didn't even realize I was country. I didn't even know it until I moved to Cali and they started telling me how I sound. Because to me, y'all sound like geeks. Even gangbangers. You sound like geeks to me. You know what I mean? But far as like Ali saying that what they created the here and there, I don't know.
Would you say that during that time is when St. Louis started to have like a sound in a sense?
Well, that sound they had was pretty much a Nelly sound, and you know that was more of a commercial thing. You know, the Here and There was in the mix. That was just part of it. But Nelly had a sound. To me, it sounded like roll call, rapping what Nelly did. But damn, that's a good question there. Did it come from the whole nine, or did it come from? Of course, Nelly was more popular. But if we comparing the Lunatics with the Give Me What You Got version of the Lunatics before the Nelly thing, I had to check my timeline because I can't really remember if the whole nine was out back. Yeah, they were. Because Chaos was on the radio.
I think they debut album came out like 2001.
Well, I can say this.
To the mainstream anyway.
I could say this. That whole Nina Pop craze, chicken head or what you want to call it, belongs to the whole nine. And then Ali did the
breathe
in, breathe out, you know. So I don't know if that's what he's saying. Of course, we know that came from the whole nine started this whole craze.
Gotcha.
You know, but for us here and that accent.
And it's just the same thing.
Yeah, it's been here. Yeah. You know. And it's in Memphis too. It's in Detroit. You know, they talk the same way.
What do you think about like the current St. Louis music scene? Like, as far as like you just kind of mentioned Stacey Ray, I just highlight her for right now anyway.
I know they be hating on her tough.
She from the north side. I know you're north side representative.
Yeah, I know. I like the fact that she repping the north. You know, I can see where people coming from. They like, young girls following her, and you know they don't like what she doing. But to me, it's like I'm an adult looking at it, and to me, it tickled me when I listen to it. It's like it make me laugh. Yeah. I don't take it serious. I don't actually think she do all these things, but the next person might. So we've been talking about killing each other for years, you know, and selling drugs and bitches and hoes, and we've been. I mean, what makes one worse than the other? You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So that's kind of how I feel on that. I can see where they're coming from, but it's a dirty world. It's a dirty game. You know, it is what it is. We got bigger problems than that in our community. For sure. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. She definitely like the face. She the hottest artist in the game right now at this moment.
Right.
At this moment, and she definitely the hottest artist in St. Louis.
Most definitely
coming out. I don't know. I wouldn't put it up to the magnitude like you know. At this point, who knows where it go? I'm just saying it's still early. But as far as like you said, Nelly kind of magnified what you did. I wouldn't say that she did it at this point just yet. And that's more. She got a lot of exposure. What I'm saying as far as like the record sales, he took that to a whole other level.
Yeah. Well,
I would say that she, as far as her transition, is definitely shot up faster than Nelly, in my opinion.
Nah.
You don't think
you
so?
Remember, she had other stuff out too. Now you remember when she had,
I mean, I've been a fan since day one.
Yeah,
so I know her grind, but I'm saying Nelly from me hearing stories, but I never talked to the man personally, know his own. But it was years. From my, she took 4 or 5 years in it.
Now Nelly, all I know about for as Nelly was rapping is with the Lunatics.
Gotcha.
You know, and I remember I had their album, and I had stayed in San Rafael, so that was around 2000, and they came out in like 97, 98, something like that. So
it's kind of similar then, I guess, in the sense.
Yeah.
4 or 5 years, the same word.
Yeah. Shit, I think mine was longer.
Gotcha.
Because even though I wasn't but 18 at the time, but I started at like 9 when I first heard Rapper's Delight, and I just kept working on it. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So
are you tapped in like outside of Stacey Ray, you know, with her having her mainstream success, are you familiar with any other local upcoming artists in St. Louis?
Let me see. I've seen a couple people. I can't remember their names. I haven't seen anything for us that, like, at this point in time, I haven't really been looking either. But just stand out to me. I haven't seen anything that really stand out to me at the time. Like, have you?
Yeah, I'm definitely.
Like who?
Like currently coming up, of course, I'm say outside of Sexy Red, is artists like Rayster, a singer, Killmonger. Who else? Slow Spray of Love.
See, I don't know about these people. I don't know about these people. I gotta step my game up.
It's a lot of them. It's so that's the field I'm in though. So I interact with a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm in the construction field now. So
we gonna get to that in a second. But they just recently had the 50 years of hip hop. This is a year. The end of 50 years of hip hop. They just had like I guess a reveal in St. Louis for celebrating here at it was at the Art Museum.
I got some.
Art Museum.
How many of these shows is it? Cause I got something from G Wiz. Then I'm hearing about something else.
Well, they just had this one probably like a little minute ago. Where I guess they took the picture. They took like a picture of everybody in front on top of Art Hill, and they just posted. They had like a exhibit inside of the Art Museum itself.
No, I didn't see that. Yeah. I ain't hear anything about that.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. Like, did they reach out to you?
No, nobody reached out to me.
Wow.
Yeah, that's St. Louis, right?
Yeah. Why wouldn't they though? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. You check who was running it. That'll probably get you your answer right there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Like, do you really too much? Like you said, I know you're not doing it now, but do you still kind of dibble and dabble with the music?
Yeah, I dibble and dabble with it. I actually have a whole album. I haven't released it. I got enough songs to make an album, but with what I'm doing now, I really don't have time to put my commitment to that because it's like I don't like to really do things just to do them.
Gotcha.
And right now, my company is doing good, so I really ain't got time to get into that.
Yeah. Let's speak on that.
FCon Construction. Well, we do concrete flat work. As far as like sidewalks, patios, driveways, we do streets, subdivisions, stuff like that. And later we trying to move into bigger construction for as buildings and stuff like that. And we got merch coming out with FCon. I ain't gonna say the name right now. I'm working on the clothing line with construction clothes as well as urban wear. So we still working on that right now. But this like a example of some of the stuff we doing. But
and it's something you've been doing for a while now, right?
Yeah, I've been doing this all my life basically.
That's something you started doing like kind of after you with the music stint.
I was doing this while I was doing the music.
Gotcha.
So my grandfather, he the king of concrete. He was pretty much a popular construction guy around the city. Mm-hmm. So I worked with him as a kid through adulthood, and I started FCon Construction. I opened the doors in 2007, and I just been chipping away at it, and we trying to take it to the top.
Yeah, I definitely see. Are you familiar with somebody named Isaac Harper?
Isaac Harper. That name sounds familiar.
I guess construction industry in St. Louis. Just a curious question.
What part of construction?
Masonry.
Isaac, that name sounds familiar.
Yeah, he been doing it for all my life. So
yeah, I'm getting old, so I might. If I seen him walk in here, I'll probably,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Outside of the music, of course, and then the construction, I'm gonna ask any last words you can kind of just leave with, I guess, somebody who's watching this, particularly somebody who's just, a young person, any word of advice, anything like that?
Well, from what I see today, get you some skills. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, get you some skills and learn how to actually do something. where you can sell something. You know what I mean? Like I did construction. Like when I got out of the rap game, I always had this to fall back on. Have you something that you can do? Something you can create, something tangible. You know what I'm saying? To bring to the world. That's my advice. Cause like this entertainment stuff is a dessert hustle. These type of things, construction, it could be teaching, it could be anything. That's a dinner hustle. You know what I'm saying? Something that you could do for the rest of your life.
That's good advice, man.
Right.
I appreciate the time, bro.
That's all good, Playboy.
Man, it took a minute to get it, man. I didn't think you was gonna do it for us.
Hey, man, I promised you. I try to keep all my promises. I wasn't gonna do it with nobody else, so
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
I told I can't find no interview on you for real.
Yeah, cause it's always some funny business. I don't know what's up with the look. We got at St. Louis stand up.
Appreciate you, man.
It's all good.